Hello artist. Today I am going to show you how to add on to an ocean scene, and I'm going to show you how to add specifically something called a silhouette. Now a silhouette is something that in the daytime looks like it would have color, but when it's nighttime or sunset, those things appear black because the sun is behind those things, so they're not lit up. So again, they look black even though in real life they're not black. It's just because it's almost night that they appear black. So there's a couple different things you can do to add onto a sunset picture. You could make silhouettes with Sharpies. Remember that we have in the art room at least 3 different sizes of Sharpie. This is the size that you should use for most projects, just the regular size. There's a thin one for very skinny lines, and that works really well, but the trick with the skinny one is you do have to draw straight up and down, and sometimes you need to get it going on the back of your artwork. And then there's a thick Sharpie for bigger spaces. And I'm going to be using all 3 of those to add some details into my ocean. But I could also use paper, just depending on what you like. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make, whether it's an island or just a piece of land coming out over here. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that. I'm going to do that with the black paper. So I'm using the edge, and you could draw how you want it to go. It's kind of a flat piece. So you can see it's kind of flat, and I could decide if I want it over here or if I think it looks better over here. Kind of like it right there actually. And if I don't want this much showing, I could decide if I want it at the top of the ocean or in the middle. It could be kind of an inlet going in, and I could even, because it's paper, I could like move it off to decide how I want it to be. I'm going to go ahead and leave it like this, and I'm going to, for sake of time, not glue it, although I would use glue sticks. I'm just going to fold it down and then keep adding more. Oops, maybe I will have to glue it down. It's popping up. Do I have a glue stick with me? Yes, I do. When I used the scrap, I don't know if you saw this, but I kind of used the edge of it because that way this is left over for other artists. When you just draw something in the middle, you're actually wasting a lot of paper, and you're making it harder for yourself because you have to cut all the way to the middle of the paper. All right, so I also want to draw some other stuff. So one thing I'd like to draw is a palm tree. And if you want to, maybe it's a good idea to draw with a pencil or the thin Sharpie first. I'm going to go ahead and do it this way. So to make a palm tree, I'm going to make a slightly curved line and another slightly curved line next to it. Because I have the tissue paper, it's a little bumpy. And it's a silhouette, so I'm going to color that in. That's basically the tree, and now I just need to do the palm fronds. So I'll add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish. And I'm actually going to switch, and I am going to use the thin Sharpie. I'm going to make sure it's going first. Good. So to make this look a little more authentic, what you can do is put V shapes on each of these palm fronds. This is a good trick to use even if you are going to make a daytime, so a very colorful picture. I go to the next one and put V shapes. Their V's are going down, lots of V shapes. If you didn't start one of these in the last art class, but you would like to do one because you think it's starting to look cool now that you're seeing how it's going, you can still do it. If you need to watch the video of how I created this, see if you can watch it on your Chromebook. So I can even add more if I wanted to, but I'm good with that. So there is a palm tree. Another thing you could draw is a pirate ship. So I'm going to make my pirate ship again with Sharpie. I would definitely do it with pencil first. I'm going to skip the pencil just because I don't think you'll be able to see it very well. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the ship. And on the bottom, it doesn't have to be flat. It could be kind of wavy because it's in the water. You don't actually see the bottom of a boat. And I like to make it kind of like an upside down flying bird for a pirate ship. And I'll color that in. Let me go ahead and color that in real fast. And again, so the bottom is kind of wavy. Mine's not very dramatic, I guess. And then it's kind of like a flying bird at the top. I like to use these thick Sharpies just for coloring things in. These are not the best Sharpies to draw with. You could use paint too, but I think the paint looks kind of wishy-washy. Am I rushing? Nope. Rushed art usually doesn't turn into good art. Okay. Next, I'm going to make the mast, which is that big central pole. Pirate ships, I think, have lots of masts, but I'm just going to do the one. And there's different styles of sails that you can do. I like one where you have small boxes or small rectangles. And if you could see, I curved the edges just a little bit. I'm going to do that again. Straight line, the next one's a little bit bigger, straight line, and I'm going to curve this line in a little bit because that one is, and I'm going to curve this line out a little bit. I don't know if I have room for another one, but I'll see if I can just make a really skinny one. All right, and then I do need to color those in as well because they're not clear. They are silhouetted, which means even though in the daytime they might appear white, or maybe they're black with a skull on it, they look black right now because the sun is clearly setting behind them. Pretty cool, huh? So another thing I said that I would show you is if you want to do a dolphin. And if you want to draw a dolphin really well, then you might want to go ahead and watch a how to draw a dolphin tutorial and do it step by step with pencil, really small where you'd like it. But for a basic dolphin, I'm going to make a slightly arched line. For the snout, it goes out a bit. Actually, maybe I'll just, no, I'll have the whole body. A parallel line, and it kind of comes down to it's almost touching before you make the tail. They have their dorsal fin, another fin. And you don't need to worry about the face or anything because remember it's a silhouette, so you just color it in. Silhouettes are really great because you don't have to add all those details in the center. So it's a really good trick if you want to practice drawing something like people but you're not very confident on all of the details. You just have to do the outside shape with the silhouette. You could put some flying birds, I guess they'd be seagulls. And that is my ocean picture. I hope some of you try this today because I can't wait to see what you make.